Louisiana State Penitentiary sits on former plantation land along the Mississippi River. It is known as Angola. For most of the 20th century, it is defined by violence, forced labor, and sentences that end only in death. The majority of the men incarcerated here are serving life without parole. Release is not a realistic outcome. Control is the primary objective. By the early 1990s, Angola has a reputation that reaches far beyond Louisiana. It is widely described as the bloodiest prison in America. Inmate-on-inmate killings are frequent. Stabbings are routine. Sexual assault is common. Guards rely on lockdowns, segregation, and force. The system functions through fear. Stability is fragile and temporary. This story matters because it shows how control can be achieved in unexpected ways. If accounts like this are worth your time, consider subscribing, because understanding what happens next explains how this prison actually operates. The turning point does not begin with rehabilitation policy or sentencing reform. It begins with exhaustion. Prison administrators face an environment they cannot fully contain with traditional methods. Staffing is limited. Facilities are aging. The population is locked in for life. There is little incentive for long-term behavioral change through conventional programs. In 1995, Burl Cain becomes warden of Angola. His approach is strict, centralized, and highly personal. He believes order can be restored through moral structure rather than expanded punishment alone. His solution is unconventional. He introduces a full-scale Christian theological seminary inside the prison. The program is developed in partnership with New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. It becomes known as the Angola Bible College, later formally titled the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary Extension Center at Angola. The curriculum mirrors that of an outside seminary. Courses include biblical studies, theology, counseling, ethics, and ministry practice. The degree offered is a Bachelor of Christian Ministry. Enrollment is limited. Candidates must demonstrate literacy, disciplinary stability, and commitment to the program. Most applicants are serving life sentences. The expectation is not reintegration into society. The expectation is permanent incarceration. The goal is not release. It is transformation within confinement. Graduates are ordained as ministers. They are assigned roles inside the prison. Some serve as inmate pastors. Others act as counselors, mentors, and mediators within housing units. They lead services, provide informal counseling, and intervene in disputes. Their authority is unofficial but recognized. Guards and administrators allow their presence in spaces that were previously controlled only by staff. This represents a shift in power dynamics. For the first time, selected inmates are given institutional legitimacy to influence behavior across cell blocks. They are not guards. They carry no weapons. But they carry moral authority backed by administration approval. The program expands through the late 1990s and early 2000s. Graduation ceremonies are held inside the prison. Families attend. Church leaders participate. Media coverage increases. Angola begins to be described in national outlets as a model for faith-based prison reform. At the same time, Angola remains a maximum security prison. Forced labor continues. The vast majority of inmates remain incarcerated for life. Conditions improve in some areas, but the fundamental structure does not change. Supporters of the program point to measurable outcomes. Homicide rates inside the prison decline. Incidents of violence decrease over time. Disciplinary infractions drop in housing units with active inmate ministers. Officials report improved order and reduced tension. These changes coincide with broader administrative reforms. Increased supervision. Better medical care. Expanded programming. It is difficult to isolate cause and effect. The Bible College is part of a larger management strategy. What is clear is that the program is not designed around rehabilitation for freedom. There is no parole incentive. There is no job placement pipeline. The men being trained are expected to die inside Angola. The transformation being pursued is internal and institutional, not societal. The prison becomes quieter. Not peaceful, but controlled. Inmate ministers operate under close oversight. They are expected to enforce behavioral norms consistent with institutional rules. They discourage violence. They report serious misconduct. They promote compliance. In effect, they become a stabilizing force within a population that distrusts staff authority. This creates tension among inmates. Some view the ministers as collaborators. Others see them as genuine leaders. Their influence varies by unit. Their presence is not universally accepted. Critics argue that the program replaces secular reform with religious authority. Participation is voluntary, but the institutional culture shifts toward Christian norms. Non-Christian inmates report feeling marginalized. Legal challenges raise concerns about separation of church and state. Civil liberties organizations question whether state resources are being used to advance a specific religion. The prison allows religious instruction, but the scale and centrality of the seminary are unusual. Warden Kane defends the program as voluntary and effective. Courts largely allow it to continue. The Bible College also produces missionaries who are transferred to other prisons. Graduates are sent to facilities across Louisiana and in other states to replicate the model. They serve as inmate ministers in prisons without similar programs. This expansion reinforces the idea that the program is not simply educational. It is operational. It is a tool for managing long-term incarceration. Angola's history makes this context unavoidable. Built on former plantation land, the prison inherits systems of racial control and forced labor. The population is disproportionately black. Life sentences are common. The Bible College operates within this framework, not outside it. Supporters describe the program as redemptive. They cite personal transformations. They point to reduced violence and improved quality of life. They emphasize that in a place where hope is structurally absent, meaning matters. Critics counter that moral reform is not a substitute for legal reform. They argue that the program addresses symptoms, not causes. Long sentences remain. Parole restrictions remain. Labor practices remain. The prison becomes calmer, but not more just. The question is not whether some individuals change. Evidence suggests many do. The question is why this form of change is prioritized. In a prison where release is rare, stability becomes the primary metric of success. Programs are evaluated based on their ability to reduce violence and maintain order. The Bible College meets these criteria. It produces compliant, disciplined leaders from within the inmate population. This is efficient. It reduces the burden on staff. It lowers costs associated with violence. It creates internal accountability structures. It also blurs boundaries. Inmates police inmates. Moral authority replaces formal authority in some contexts. The line between rehabilitation and control becomes unclear. The program's success is often framed as spiritual, but its practical impact is administrative. Angola becomes easier to manage. National attention shifts. The prison's image improves. Formerly known for brutality, Angola is now cited in discussions of innovative corrections. The bloodiest prison in America becomes an example of order through faith. This narrative is incomplete. Violence decreases, but isolation remains. Life sentences continue. Aging prisoners die behind bars. The Bible College does not challenge sentencing laws. It does not address racial disparities. It operates within the system as it exists. For the men enrolled, the program provides structure. It provides education. It provides a role. In a place defined by permanence, purpose becomes a form of survival. Graduates speak publicly about accountability and responsibility. They acknowledge their crimes. They emphasize discipline. Their narratives align with institutional goals. This alignment raises difficult questions. Is transformation meaningful if it serves the system more than the individual? Is faith being used as a management tool? Or is management being achieved through genuine belief? There is no simple answer. The program produces measurable outcomes. It also produces ethical concerns. Both are true. Angola today is not the Angola of the 1970s. The changes are real. The causes are multiple. The Bible College is one factor among many. What distinguishes it is intent. It is not designed to prepare inmates for release. It is designed to stabilize a population that will never leave. This makes it unique. It also makes it controversial. The prison remains a closed world. The men inside adapt to it in the ways available to them. For some, faith provides a framework. For others, it is irrelevant or imposed. The Angola Bible College stands as a case study in institutional survival. It shows how systems under pressure adopt unconventional strategies. It shows how moral narratives can coexist with rigid punishment. It also shows how reform can occur without challenging the foundations of incarceration. The program continues today. It is cited in academic research. It is visited by officials. It is replicated elsewhere. Angola remains a place of permanent confinement. The Bible College does not change that. It changes how permanence is managed. Whether this represents genuine transformation or pragmatic control depends on perspective. The facts remain. Violence decreases. Order increases. Life sentences continue. The system survives. If you think this story was intense, the next one will leave you speechless. Subscribe for more true crime stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat.